Welcome to Family Law Talk, presented by Kirk Stange of Stange Law Firm, PC. Stange Law Firm is a family law firm in the St. Louis metro area with offices in Missouri and Illinois. Now, here's your host, Kirk Stange.
Welcome to Family Law Talk. My name is Kirk Stange, a managing partner of Stange Law Firm. Welcome to our episode today of Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm. Today, the topic is why hire a divorce attorney. This is based on an article on our webpage, familylawheadquarters.com, dated September 19th, 2013. But before we get to the topic today, I should state this, that the choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements. Further, the information materials provided today in the episode are general in nature and may not apply to specific factual or legal circumstance. Therefore, if you need specific legal advice, you should consult with a competent attorney licensed to practice in your jurisdiction. All right, so on to the topic today. Again, the topic is why hire a divorce attorney, and I would state to the listeners that is a follow-up to the episode today. Go to www.familylawheadquarters.com. Look up the article on our webpage titled 5 Reasons Why a Divorce Attorney is Necessary. The podcast today is going to be based primarily on the information provided in that article. That said, I'm going to provide a few more anecdotes for people out there and a few more reasons why hiring an attorney when going through divorce is a good thing. And not only in a divorce, for that matter, really any family law matter, you want to have an attorney who knows the ins and outs of the area of the law, that's dealt with numerous cases in the past, because that's really going to put you in the best position as a client going through divorce to get a positive result in your case. All right, so let's talk about the article. The article gives 5 reasons why a divorce attorney is necessary. Let's go through these 5 reasons. Reason 1 is an experienced attorney can provide expert advice and make certain that you receive everything you deserve during a divorce. The issue is this. I think a lot of people think when going through a family law case that the result is just kind of generic. In other words, what happens is, the court just divides all the assets 50-50, for example, and that, the custody and visitation is just kind of standard. And you'll hear people say things like, well, Missouri, there's this child support chart called a Form 14. And you'll hear a lot of people say that, that chart is what it is, and there's really no reason to get an attorney because you plug the numbers in, and the result is a result, and it's a really pretty simple thing. So, save yourself the fees on an attorney and just do it yourself because the result's going to be the same. And at the end of the day, the truth is that is really not an accurate statement. And let's go through this. When you're talking about property and debt, in Missouri, for example, where I primarily practice, what the statute says is not what a lot of people think. It doesn't state that marital property and debt is to be divided 50-50. The language in the statute is that marital property and marital debt is to be divided in a just manner when considering all the factors. And so, that term just is an interesting term because the reality is just might mean 50-50. Division of the assets, but just might mean something different. And so having a competent attorney in your corner is just a vital thing when going through a family law case when you're dealing with property division, because just might mean many things to many different judges. And of course, to divide property in just manner, a court's going to need valuations as well. And an attorney can certainly help you do that. So when you're dealing with a house, the question is going to be, what's the value of that house? There can be some ambiguity there. Different appraisers might come up with different conclusions. Or if you've got a business involved, frankly, a lot of business evaluators might look at the exact same business and come to a different conclusion about what that business might ultimately be worth. And then, of course, when you're dealing with investment assets like retirement accounts, you have tax ramifications that deal with dividing the assets in a just manner. And so it might be advantageous to have certain assets over others because of the tax consequences. And then some assets, they're liquid, which means the cash can, in essence, be accessed right away, whereas other assets, like a house, for example, you might not be able to access that equity in that house. And so, look, having an attorney in your corner during a divorce, definitely a good thing when it comes to property division. When you're dealing with child support in Missouri, there's what's called the Form 14, which is based on Missouri Supreme Court Rule 8801. And again, a lot of people think, well, you just put the numbers in, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, a lot of gray area with that Form 14. Just like an accountant knows the specifics of a tax return and knows what deductions you can take and what deductions you can't take, a competent attorney who has experience doing family law is going to be able to navigate that for you. So when you get into issues like visitation credits, a good attorney is going to know the proper credit and be able to put that case on for you in court. When you get into issues like daycare, courts can put daycare on that Form 14 or they can take it off the Form 14, and there's advantages and disadvantages to that based on frankly, the circumstances of your case. So having an attorney who knows family law is a good thing in that situation because they're going to be able to advocate for you. And then, again, I'm just kind of glazing over this whole thing, but when you get into income, you get into an issue of, do you take a 5-year average? Do you take a 3-year average of your income? Do you simply look at what somebody's making right now at the present and not take any kind of 3 or 5-year average? Courts, frankly, can do lots of different things in that type of situation, and that's where you want to have an attorney that knows how to advocate for you in the best possible manner. It's not simply a situation where you just punch numbers in and it spits a number out, and it is what it is. You really need an attorney who knows the pitfalls of the Form 14, just like an accountant knows the various deductions that you can and can't take on a tax return. So, again, I think, having an attorney is vital when you get into an issue like child support. And, of course, custody, lots of little things parties aren't thinking about. I mean, the situation with the custody plan is you've got the here and the now, and then you've got 5, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, depending on how old your kids are. And that's where you want a parenting plan that conceivably is going to be good for the long haul. Now, lots of people come back for modifications, but I think that can be avoided in lots of cases if that parenting plan is done correctly from the beginning. And so, again, that's where you need an attorney that takes you out of the present and puts you into the future when you're looking at a custody plan and is ensuring that whatever that parenting plan that's put into effect is something that, might work until your kids all become emancipated. So definitely good for any divorce to have an attorney. And I would say this as well, while the fees of hiring an attorney on the front end, might seem to a lot of parties to be expensive. And frankly, in some situations it is expensive. If you hire a good attorney, if you hire an attorney that knows what they're doing, if you hire an attorney who truly cares about your situation and is trying to help you take a long view of your case, so you look at it 5, 10, 15 years down the line and feel like, well, maybe it wasn't perfect, but at the end of the day, the result is pretty good and something I can live with, then I would say to the listeners out there, the money you spend on an attorney is probably going to be worth it for you at the end of the day, and definitely something you ought to do. So, again, hiring an experienced attorney can provide you advice during your case that is just invaluable. All right, number 2, according to the article, an attorney can reduce the stress of a divorce. Obviously, divorce is stressful in and of itself, causes people to worry, can be a traumatic event. In any case, and especially the case when you have kids or you've been married a long period of time, very stressful going through a divorce. So hiring an attorney can help take that stress away. And what you can do in these cases, again, if you have a good, caring, competent attorney, is you can sort of unload that stress onto the attorney and let them worry about that. And then you can get back to, as much as possible, to life. So you can get back to work and focus on doing a good job at work. You can focus on trying to enjoy life. And you don't have to worry whether or not things are going to be done right in your case. So that's reason number 2 to hire an attorney during a divorce. Reason number 3 is if you hire an attorney, you can avoid making mistakes. Look, I think just like a heart surgeon who does a surgery knows the intricacies of that, a family law attorney knows the intricacies of divorce. And the last thing you want to do is have something put in a divorce judgment that, quite frankly, is a mistake that might cause a problem for you down the line. I've seen a lot of these situations where maybe somebody's taken a house and the debt, maybe they can't afford it. Sometimes parties will agree to custody schedule at the end of the day. That might work today, but if you look at the situation a year or two, 5 years in the future, practically speaking, it's not going to work for the parties. It can be situations like, when you're dividing property and debt in Missouri, and again, I practice in Missouri, Illinois, and Kansas. I can tell you definitively in Missouri, and I believe this is a rule in most states, that you have to divide all property and debt. In order to get divorced, you can't leave stuff out of the agreements. A good attorney can make sure that's the case, that nothing's forgotten, that the agreement's all-encompassing, and that it protects you at the end of the day. 4, an attorney can make sure you have a clear and binding agreement. You may end up with a divorce decree that states something other than what you intended if the court does not understand what you're trying to do on each point of the divorce. And that's what, frankly, you see a lot of people do with the pro se forms. You find these pro se forms online, you try to fill them out. You think it's clear, but at the end of the day, there's some ambiguity there. It's not as clear as you think. And what I would say to a lot of the listeners out there is that, if you don't have an attorney drafting these agreements in a way that's tight, in a way that ensures that things don't fall through the cracks, the truth is you can end up spending a lot more money in the long run coming back to court trying to fix it. An analogy I use for clients, and I've used for a long time, is when I was a young attorney, frankly, came out of law school, a lot of student loans, not making a lot of money, and the alternator in my car went out, and I thought, I can do this myself. I'm educated. I can buy the manual. I can take that alternator out myself, save myself some money. I can buy the part online, and that would be a fantastic thing. Of course, for me, what ended up happening is you take that alternator out, and you're trying to put the new one in, and of course, a lot harder than I thought, and I couldn't do it. I ended up having to tow the car to a mechanic shop to fix it, and at the end of the day, that cost me a lot more money in the long run, having that mechanic do what I couldn't do myself. And the truth is, a family law case is a lot different than like a speeding ticket, for example. It's a lot different than just some simple area of law. It's complex, it's intricate, and at the end of the day, just like you would want that mechanic to put the alternator in your car, you would want a heart surgeon to do your heart surgery, and you'd want somebody who'd done it before. You want a family law attorney to do it that way. It's a binding agreement. There's no mistakes in it. The 5th reason listed in the article is that having an attorney may avoid delays. A lot of people think, these forms are going to be easy, they're going to be simple. You find them online, you fill them out. Really anybody can do it. But the truth is, a judge can't give you legal advice. And so if you fill these forms out wrong, at the end of the day, this can delay your case. And a lot of judges, they simply won't sign the settlement paperwork if it's not done right, if your pleadings aren't filed right. And at the end of the day, that can cause the process to take longer than if you just had an attorney do it on the front end. And that can help you avoid delays. That can make the case end quickly, and at the end of the day, like I said, cause you to spend less money in the long run trying to fix something that was done wrong out of the gates. And so, look, there's a lot of reasons to hire an attorney. This article talks about 5 of them. I think these are 5 outstanding reasons to hire a divorce attorney. And again, a lot of the listeners out there, I know, it's tough in this economy, and a lot of people think it's hard to come up with the money to hire an attorney and pay these attorney fees. But at the end of the day, you're better to spend some money to hire an attorney who knows what they're doing, that's experienced in this area of law, because at the end of the day, this will ensure you get your case done quickly, that it's done right, that mistakes aren't made. It can take the stress off of you in this type of case, versus you having to communicate with your soon-to-be ex-spouse. Your attorney can communicate with that individual or their attorney, and that takes a lot of the stress out of this. And they can actually give you advice in terms of what type of parenting plan you might want, how property should be divided, how child support and maintenance should be calculated, and that will be done in a way that protects you at the end of the day. So, look, no matter where you come from, no matter what your socioeconomic status is, hire an attorney if you're going through a divorce or family law case. at the end of the day, if you hire somebody who's good, who's competent, caring, compassionate, they'll save you a lot of money in attorney fees in the long run. And because again, your agreement won't have to be fixed down the road. Maybe, hopefully, you avoid that modification. And of course, you can rest easy that your case was done right. All right. Well, that concludes our episode of Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm today. Stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Family Law Talk with Kirk Stange. Visit StangeLawFirm.com for more about today's topic, or to put Stange Law Firm to work for your family today.
Treat your party host with a Hy-Vee party tray. From meat, cheese, and charcuterie boards to shrimp and seafood trays and everything in between, Hy-Vee has the perfect signature platter to make your event extra special. And make sure to check out the chicken wing trays if you want a real crowd pleaser. Shop in-store or online at high-v.com. That's high-v.com.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high-fiver? I kind of like the high-five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.